morning, YouTube. How are you? Hope you're having a good day. So, I want to sit down and do something different besides react to Chantal's live streams, the ones that she's been doing on Twitch and also on her Beezer Show channel. I want to sit down and do a comparison to how she used to be versus how she is now. Chantal, as everybody knows, has been demonetized on her main channel. She swears that she did an appeal, although I don't think the appeal is going to go through because she was just sloppy all over the place. She didn't delete stuff off her channel. She didn't do a video with her appeal. Just all kinds of mistakes made there. Also, her being on the Beezer Show and also on Twitch, she's still doing the same kind of content that she did on her main channel. So if YouTube is looking at her and maybe considering giving her monetization back, all they have to do to see if she's changed or that she will change is go to the Beezer Show and see, well, she's doing the same thing that she was before. I guess she hasn't learned anything, so I guess we won't give the monetization back. So I wanted to do a side-by-side with Chantal. How she used to be. Like over the years, how much she has changed. She did a live stream recently on the Beezer Show where she was out and about, and good for you, Foodie. You actually went out, and maybe you went out because people have been complaining about you not going out, you not doing anything, and you thought, I'll just throw my subbies a bone and go out so they'll stop complaining. You live very close to a mall. You live exactly, I think, 600 feet away from the mall. That's what, a 2-minute walk, 3-minute walk? And several times you had to sit down. If that's not a wake-up call, I don't know what is. But I wanted to show people how you were just 4 or 5 years ago. How you were before you got deep in the sauce. Before you let YouTube and YouTube paychecks take over. Why am I doing this video? Is it because I think that you will watch this video and maybe have a wake-up call? No. I don't think you're ever going to have a wake-up call. I think it's entirely too late. Chantal, life is sometimes about sacrifice. Sometimes to get the things that you want, you have to sacrifice things that you have. In a lot of cases, there are people out there, they sacrifice things for good reason. There are people out there right now that are working real hard to support their families, and their sacrifices, giving up personal time with their families just so the bills can be paid and the lights can stay on. But in cases like yours, you've made negative sacrifices for negative reason. When you first got on YouTube, you were a lot healthier. You were a lot more active. You were a lot more social. So for the sake of YouTube, monetization, paychecks, and money, what have you given up? You've given up some very valuable things, some of which you can't get back. You've given up a great deal of your health. And even if you worked hard to repair some of the damage, I don't think you could repair all of the damage. You've given up the ability to be confident in public. You're always trying to hide yourself and hide your appearance and using filters. You've given up friendships and the ability to make friends because you have just boxed yourself in so much that you don't want to be around people. Given up your relationship with your family. You've given up a lot of things. You've given up a lot of your independence because you need someone around to take care of you. All of that for what? For more subscribers, for a bigger paycheck. And now you're at a place where your monetization on your main channel has been taken away. And now you have to practically start from the bottom. You've got monetization on the Beezer Show for now, but is that enough? Is it really enough when over the years you have built up your food addiction to such a degree that you need help satisfying that addiction, all of your addictions. You base your channel around addictions and keeping them all fed and keeping them all satisfied, using the general public to basically help you. And now that system has collapsed. It's absolutely collapsed. So the title of this retro react is Foodie Beauty versus Foodie Beauty, because it's never really been about Foodie Beauty against Girl World or the reactors. If you're against anybody, Chantal, it's always been you against yourself, because you are your greatest enemy. You are your greatest adversary, and you're always hurting yourself. Always. So I've gathered up some really great clips, because saying something is one thing, but showing it is another. Sometimes a picture is worth 1,000 words, but I think video clips are worth more than 10,000. So I've gathered up some stuff today, y'all, as well as some Twitter peeps. We're going to go over all of them. Some of them are Chantal related. Some of them, it's really cool stuff. You know, we got animals in there. We got cute stuff. We got all kinds of informative stuff. So what do you guys say we just jump into the Twitter peeps, and then we'll carry on with this retro react with Chantal. So you guys know what time it is. It is time for the Twitter peeps. Okay, it is time for the Twitter peeps, and I'm all set and ready to go. And I did check the audio this time. I'm not making the same mistake twice. Screw you, StreamYard, you suck. All right, so for those of you on Twitter that would like to follow me on Twitter, there's my handle, Wild Girl Sarah. And for those of you not on Twitter, that's why I do the peeps. You guys can keep up with all the Twitter stuff without actually having to set foot on the Bird app. But I'll be happy to do it for you, because I enjoy doing the peeps for y'all. So first tweet is from Blue Eyed Leo saying, do not give Foodie Beauty money directly to fix the cat. If you want it fixed, ask where to call the money to the location she's taking it to. They will take the money and use it for the cat, or the cat won't get fixed and she will blow it. And I can back Blue Eye up with something that happened long ago. Way back in the day during Crackhead Olympics, there was a beezer who gave Chantal, I believe it was $300, $400 for Chantal to take BBJ and Sam to the vet, so the visit would practically be free. Vegan for Life gave the money via Super Chats and said, I would like for you to take the cats to the vet, and here I'm sending you money for that. Do you know what Chantal told Vegan for Life? She said, oh, it's my money now. I can do what I want with it. And the cats never received medical care. So if Chantal comes forward and says, I need money to fix my cat or care for the cat or even feed my cat, do not send money to her, please. If she says, I need cat food, tell her to put it on an Amazon wish list, or say, hey, if you send me your address, I'll Postmate some food right on over immediately today. You pay for it. Don't put the money in her hand. Likewise, like Blue Eyed said, if she says she needs to get the cat fixed, say, what's the location? We'll pay for the visit directly out of pocket. The money doesn't touch her hands. Speaking of which, I found something on Twitter, and this is going to make a lot of people angry. Real angry. So Chantal, she just spent about $1,000 on a new Samsung Galaxy phone. She did not need the phone. But here's the thing. Here on Twitter, you're going to see, because there is a tweet in here, that there is a clinic that will spay the cat for is it $85 or $185? So Chantal spent all kinds of money on a phone she didn't need, but couldn't be bothered to spend less than $200 on getting her cat fixed. Priorities, I guess. Okay. Now here's something positive from that good news girl, saying Bree from Texas left a fan on her porch and found a squirrel sprawled out in front of it, blissfully cooling off. So she built the squirrel resort with fans, snacks, water, and what started as an accident became a backyard.
When a woman trying to be thinly left.
Okay, sorry. We're gonna turn this off. There we go. So there's the aforementioned squirrel. The owner just left the fan running, and the squirrel saw an opportunity and said, well, I'm just gonna chill out right here. And then the owner's like, well, this is a happy accident. And just decided to go further with it and leave stuff out for the squirrel so that they would be comfortable, and left them food and water. And it turned into a whole thing. Now the whole backyard is a squirrel resort. I think that's awesome. Thumbs up to you, ma'am, for caring about the squirrels, because they're all nuts. Okay. Now, this is from Boo. We got to keep the sound off because there's music. This is for anybody who doesn't think that animals aren't emotional. These are those who are in the army or the service coming back from serving. Oh, got to turn off the sound. There we go. Look. And I would like to take a moment to say to those who are enlisted, thank you for your service. Thank you for your sacrifice. And to the families of those who are enlisted, also, thank you for your sacrifice. Thank you. But here are the pets of those who are enlisted. Just absolutely, that big dog wasted no time. Look, animals remember and they never forget. And they especially never forget those that they love. But who says that animals don't miss their owners? They absolutely do. And they express so much love and joy when they see the ones that they care about. Oh, that was a perfect jump. Give that a 10. And I'm sure that those who are enlisted, they love their pets and they miss them so much. Such happy reunions. Now, here's something to make you smile. Look at this. Baby goats jumping around. How can you feel sad looking at these baby goats? Baby goats jumping around. They're so cute. Look at them. So I just want to make you smile for a minute. It's the morning. You got to start off the day with a smile. And then back to Foodie. The Tone Knob says, Foodie Beauty, little journey today proves that her mobility has left the chat. She couldn't walk for more than 1 minute, and she had to sit down in as little as 30 seconds. So her claims of being mobile were lies. She's going to eat herself to blank, and we all know it. Yeah, you know what? And I know that there might be people from Chantal's channel that are going to come over here, and they're going to try that argument. Well, Rose, the clips that you're showing of Foodie, she was younger. Yeah, but you can be older and still have your mobility. Chantal was on her feet and agile and mobile 5 years ago. What happened? What happened was she gained a whole lot of weight and she got very unhealthy. That's what's affecting her mobility. Back in the day, in the clips that you're going to see, she was about, I would say, in the 300, 400-pound range. Now she's much, much heavier, and that extra weight is making quite a bit of difference. So in the clips I'm going to show you, like she was going out doing her thing, completely independent, did not need a caretaker, did not need a companion to go everywhere with her. She could just do things all by herself. And she gave up her independence. And she gave up her mobility. And she gave up her health for what? for money, for notoriety on YouTube. It's really interesting when you think about it. When you think about Amberlyn Reed, when you think about Foodie, they both started out on their channels. Yeah, they were on the heavy side, but they still had their mobility. They were still going out and doing things. And then as time went on and their channels grew and they grew in size, they became less mobile, less independent, less social. It seemed like the more money that they earned, the more they became housebound. The more money that they got in hand, the more they stayed in the house. That was the negative sacrifice. They in Foodie's case, she gave up everything for addiction to keep her food addiction going. Just trading away her health little by little for money. And now she's basically got none left. All right, this was disturbing, but it happened. Shenanigans says, the fact that there are kids watching her is concerning AF. Her content needs to be age restricted. So let's look at this courtesy of DX and Stuff Case said. So the live stream that Foodie did, she went out shopping and she had herself a little encounter with very young girls. I don't know how old they are. Thank goodness Foodie did not show their faces on camera. I don't think it'd be a good idea to show them, but let's listen into what happened here.
Do you do YouTube?
Yeah? You
look familiar.
Foodie Beauty.
Oh my god. Yeah, that's exactly what.
I don't have you on camera. Do you want to be on camera?
No.
Foodie, I don't have you on camera. Do you want to be on camera? Why do you want to show young people on camera? Why? Why are you even why even ask the question? You should automatically be thinking, I don't want to show these young people on camera. It's not a good idea. There might be some creepos on my channel. Why are you asking the question? Who are you trying to cater to on your channel? We've seen some of the creeps in your chat. We've seen the things that they said about Sasa. Don't show kids on your channel, okay? Never. Not once, not ever again.
No.
I follow you on
Do you? I thought these little brats are following me around. No, I'm just joking.
No, she's not joking. So these young ladies are saying that they watch Chantal, and to their face, she's calling them brats. Chantal hates kids. Even these young ladies that are coming up and they're being very nice to Chantal. But Chantal, this should have been a wake-up moment, honestly. These young ladies, who they don't sound like they're adults. They sound young, maybe early teens, I'm thinking. They sound like they're in their early teens. Because you don't age restrict your content, people that are under the age of 18 are able to watch you and have been watching you. And think about all the things you've done on camera. Doing the party favors, being high out of your mind, the disordered eating. This is what you're exposing very young people to. And you wonder why YouTube shut you down for monetization. See, you're behind your camera screen. And all you think about is making money, making money, making money. But you don't care what you're exposing the general public to or how old people are. You've never age restricted your content. And some young people are impressionable, very impressionable. So you got these young ladies who are approaching you and saying, we watch you. Doesn't that make you feel awful at all? That you're exposing young people to your stuff and how degenerate it is? Ugh.
No, because we were trying to figure out if you were like from YouTube or not.
Yep, that's me. Yeah, don't feel shy to say hi. That's okay. You guys, what are you guys doing here? Buying snacks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Watch a movie.
What movie are you gonna watch?
Pretty.
Do you like it?
Yeah.
Are you going to the movie theater here?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I hope you enjoy the movie. I'm getting this.
So awkward. So awkward. Moving on. Aw, declaration of meme says, find someone who comes running like this every time they see you. It's this baby. Happy duck. A very happy duck. So we got the happy quacks all the way there. Then you got the tail wag. Then you got the happy chirps. That is a happy duck who loves somebody. That's a happy duck. Gotta love the happy duck. Back to Foodie. Carmen Cat San Diego, aka Orange Cat, says Cutie had to get a new phone because setting up a live stream with just one working phone was asking too much of her dying brain cells. Why does she need two phones? Well, my guess is that she needs one to live stream and one to talk to people like Salah on off camera. Like if he's got a message for her or she wants to just spy on him and see what he's up to, she's got that second phone. That's what she needs the second phone for. But let's watch.
I'm setting up the stream because I got a new phone, so I don't have to worry about this stupid shit. Every time I would have to set up my stream, I would have to.
You know what? Let her buy the new phone. It's bought. It's a done deal. Let her have it. Let her be happy that she has a new phone. Because when she doesn't get her paycheck on the 22nd, which is what, next Tuesday, she's going to have to turn right around and sell it. She won't have that phone for long. When she realizes she's not getting her paycheck from YouTube, she's going to have an entire meltdown and to turn around and sell that phone. Speaking of new phone, I had a thought. You guys tell me what you think. So I sat here and I thought about it last night. Foodie has mentioned that she wants a new computer, right? She wants a new computer and she wants a new phone. And I got to thinking, why would she want a new computer? She doesn't like computers. She's not really been a computer person per se. She prefers to do everything off her phone. So why would she want one? Because that's just more expenses, right? A new computer, that costs money, especially a good one. Internet service every month, that's just more money out of pocket that she don't want to spend. Why would she want a computer? And then I got to thinking, who do we know that likes computers, that likes to game? Salah. So could it be that she wanted the new phone for herself, but she wants a computer to give to Salah? Maybe as part of his payment or as a gift so he doesn't blab all her business. I'm kind of leaning in that direction. What do y'all think? I just got to thinking that way. She had a computer before. She never really used it that much. So why does she want one? Sounds like a gift for Salah. That's just my thoughts. You guys tell me in the comments what you think. Meandering Thought says, wow, Foodie Beauty has no mobility left. It's depressing to watch, having to sit down every 30 seconds, 2 minutes at most, walking in slow motion, the breathing. Now we know why she never wants to go outside. This must make her anxious, but she claims her mobility is better than 7 years ago. Okay, I'm of two minds with this. I'm of two minds of this. One side of my mind is saying, yeah, she really is that lacking in mobility and health, because she is. She's very unhealthy. But the other side of my mind goes this way. Chantal caters to feeties, and y'all know that I'm all on top of that fetish. I've been clocking her for years on that. For those that don't know, that you need to know, there are subfolders to the main folder. You know, like the Foodie category is large, but there are lots of subfolders attached to the main folder that, you know, the very specific things within that sort of fetish. And some of the main subfolders, the main folder, you've got people who are the gainers, who are part of the Foodie fetish, but their deal is they want to see the person get bigger and bigger and bigger. And then you have another subfolder called the immobilizers. And those are people that, you know, they're in the Foodie fetish, but their deal is they like to see people of a much bigger size struggle to do the simplest things, like walking up a set of stairs or doing housework or taking a walk. It's really twisted, but they love seeing the struggle. So while half of my mind is saying, yes, she really is that unhealthy, the other half is wondering, by her doing the live stream yesterday and saying, I've got to sit down, her going to the Walmart and using the scooter, is that for them? Wouldn't that play directly into their fetish? Another thing, Chantal, and I'm just going to say it outright. Within the Foodie fetish, there could be the element of domination. You're letting some of the Foodies dominate you, control you, tell you what to do. Maybe they're telling you not to move or not to be so active. They might get unhappy if you're active because they want to see you get bigger and bigger and bigger and being closer and closer and closer to bedbound or completely immobile. There could be an element of severe, unhealthy control. And as long as they give you money, you don't mind giving up the control. But what are you going to do if you lose control and there's nobody there to take care of you? Just something to think about. Just something to think about. Now, here's something interesting that I just found this morning, courtesy of Shenanigans and Acadia Strong, saying, guess it's not Ghostface. They had a falling out, it appears. So he changed his channel name and made a post about her. So Ghostface was, I believe, a mod on Chantal's channel, and Ghostface was under the age of 18, which was disturbing, but really liked Chantal. So I guess this just happened. So Ghostface says, hello, my dears. This is the former Beezer of Foodie Beauty / liar. Uh-oh. She has made a bunch of lies about what she was going to do. I feel bad for saying these things. I managed to get my full refund in one of her lying PayPal. I will start a new chapter by leaving her community all alone and move on to my personal life. And Foodie, if you read this, I am so sorry for this, but I have to move on with my life now and leave the bad things behind, and I will continue my life with Allah. I have gotten bad stuff because of you, and you have lied to all of your fans. I'm sorry if you guys haven't heard back from me in a while, because I have been focusing on my life and senior project, PBA. Anyways, blank you, Miriam. I am mad, mama, because of you, and good riddance to you. Wow. So Ghostface is out? Completely out? Wow. I wonder what happened there. What sent this person over the edge? Rubber Crazy Troll Band says, I've been on Twitch for 8 years. The reason I know Foodie Beauty won't make crap is because I average decent viewership with steady subs. We know how many Beezers will pay for a subscription, but she gets a limited amount of the money. So there you go, Foodie. This person is on Twitch. They're working hard. They get decent viewership, and they don't make as much. And you're someone going on Twitch and you come on with the attitude of, I hate it here. I'm only going to be here for an hour. I just came here to get affiliates so I can, get the memberships and all that stuff. Are you really going to make money with that kind of attitude and barely streaming? I don't think so. Fat Cow Chronicle says, I don't believe this is coincidence. So Fat Cow Chronicles put out a post saying 50% of me thinks that someone is posing as Salah in Foodie Beauty's chat to stop the romance scammer kicks Target to the curb after demonetization rumors. While the other 50% thinks convenient appearance 5 days before potential payday right on schedule. However, judging by the messages she gets on her second phone during his appearance on chat, I think she's convinced him for now that her appeal will be granted and her monetization will be reinstated, or at least she'll get November's money. I'm kind of split both ways too, Fat Cow. It would be right on par with Salah to hang around to see if there's any more money in her pocket that he can take. She might be lying to him and saying, yeah, I'm going to get remonetized. I'm going to get remonetized. I'm going to get my final paycheck just to keep him hanging around. She is that desperate. Maybe she already knows she's not going to get her final paycheck, but she's so desperate to hang on to him, she'll lie for as long as she can lie until she can't lie anymore. So we will see. We'll see on the 22nd. Now, remember what I said about it doesn't take much to get a cat fixed? Here we go. And thank you, Bad Seed. Bad Seed says, Foodie Beauty, you have no freaking excuse. What it looks like to all of us is that you enjoy the cat being in heat because you are vicariously living through the cat. You are disturbed. So here we go. Let's blow this up. Low-cost clinics at Ottawa. Price, $135 for a dog, $85 for a cat. Effective 1/1/26. Package includes spay, neuter, and rabies vaccine, complimentary microchip courtesy of Fee Nano, complimentary DAPPV vaccine for dogs, or FVRCP vaccine for cats. So this looks like this kicks in next year as of the 1st. So have you made an appointment yet, Foodie? Have you booked that clinic? I'm sure that they'd be happy to take care of No Name Cat. But $85, you can spend $1,000 on a phone, but you can't spend less than $100 on your cat? No? Can't do it? All right. Fondue Spiteful Beach says, Foodie Beauty, the proof Salah sent her to show he was sick. And yes, he covered his face before he sent it. That could be anybody sitting on that stretcher. And a lot of people were pointing out the things that did not look right. So what do y'all notice? Can you guys see anything wrong with this picture? I can. Let's see. So this person is supposed to be in a hospital room, although you can't really see who it is. And how do you take IVs with a jacket on? There's nothing hooked up. Somebody could just crawled up on a bed, snapped a picture, and crawled right back off. That's your proof, Foodie? Your proof sucks. You and Salah, you're both bad liars. That's why you get caught. All right, so Kristen says, Foodie Beauty hurtled across the street to Scooter Bees at Walmart. She sat down 3 times along this walk. Yeah, and look how close it is. Look. There, it's practically look, it's across this doggone street, y'all. Look. Here's her place. You just cross the street. Okay, 5-minute walk. I could do this in 3. There's the Walmart. There's all kinds of places here. I mean, are you kidding me? Foodie. I'm 54 years old, about to be 55, girl. I used to live in a rural area in Oregon. And I had to ride a 2-speed bike 2 miles in either direction just to get to town. And you can't do like a 5-minute walk? What is the matter with you? And you're younger than me.
Anyway, let's just walk slow. No. It might be anxiety too. You know? Go. We gotta cross.
And I'm glad that this person posted this tweet because it gives a better illustration of how she is now versus how she was then. And we're going to get into that. Y'all going to see the difference. but just how bad her health is now because of all the bad eating. She's not even walking fast, and she's taking labored steps, labored breathing. And I have no doubt, Chantal, that if you're 500 plus pounds and you don't get out regularly and you don't build up your stamina, you just lay around. Yeah, it's going to be a lot for you. But it didn't used to be this way.
Ooh. Why is it so freezing?
Because it's winter, dum-dum. Hello, it's snow on the ground. But then again, if it weren't winter, you'd be complaining about it's hot outside, I can't go out. You're always finding an excuse to not go out. And this is not who you used to be. The foodie beauty that joined up on YouTube was able to go out no matter what the weather was able to be around people no matter how many people were around. You had your health, you had your confidence, you had a little bit of self-esteem, maybe just enough to be around people. You were able to go out with friends. Remember when you did the whole video where you were out with your friend Rena, or is it Raina, having lunch with a friend? When is the last time you've done that confidently? It's been a while.
It's cold. But yeah, it is good to get out because it's been like, I don't know, a long time. Someone said they wanted to see snow.
You know, I'm just going to call this content for what it is. This is Foodie Beauty throwing her subbies a bone because she has spent so much time indoors, they're getting about sick of it. Also, I feel now that she's got a Twitch channel and she's got the Beezer show, she's trying to keep people from leaving. They are so incredibly bored over there that they're begging her to go see the dumpsters. Hey, let's go dumpster diving. They're desperate and they're hungry and they're starving for any kind of new content that doesn't look exactly the same as the content the day before and the day before that and the day before that and the day before that. They want her to go out and do anything at all. They'll take anything. So she's like, well, all right, I guess I'll go out and do something just to shut you guys up for about a week.
There you go.
Yeah, exactly. You guys want to see snow, but there you go. You know what that tells me? This is something you did not want to do, Chantal. You did not want to go out. You did not want to walk. You're doing it because your subs are pushing on you and you're afraid that they'll leave and they won't sub up to Twitch. You're trying to keep the money around. Girl, I can make that walk in 3 minutes. Again, all of this should be a wake-up call about how bad things are, Foodie. It didn't used to be this way. There's Walmart right there.
Was Caribou couldn't see snow? I guess people walk through this path.
And she has to stop. She's exhausted. And again, I can imagine the experience of being 5 feet tall, you got a small frame, and having to carry 400 extra pounds of weight on you. Like that's got to be a lot. But it's what she chose to do. because she never put the brakes on to stop it. And she had people around her that were encouraging her to keep going, keep going, keep going. And as defiant as Chantal is, because she is a very defiant person, she didn't use some of that defiance to, you know, 2 middle fingers up, feedies, and say, hey, this is my body. I don't want to get so big that I can barely walk and I can barely breathe. Back off. I'm already like 400 pounds. What more do you want? She didn't use her defiance intelligently. And if there are people around her saying, eat more food or lay around and seal, do some pushback and say, go get bent, sit and spin. I got to be somewhat mobile. Nope. No, not using that defiance the right way.
Yeah.
What's crazy, Chantal, is that you don't like people telling you what to do. You don't like outside opinions, but you especially don't like people telling you what to do. And yet, haven't you let people over the years that were feedies tell you what to do? A lot of people that are feedies have told you what to do. I'm sure there have been many that paid you to eat certain meals, big meals, that made you absolutely sick. And I'm sure you have had other feedies that they encourage you to sit around and seal and get unhealthy. They told you what to do and you listened because there was money involved. If there's money involved, you will listen to somebody, but there has to be money involved. So the people that are coming forward and saying, try to get healthy, or saying things that are true, you're not going to listen to them because they're not paying you. But the people that are feedies, in order to control you, in order to get their fetish fulfilled, they'll throw money at you to get their way. And for so many years it has worked. And look where you are now.
About the sidewalk and stuff. My back hurts. And my hip.
You know, Chantal, I am actually shocked and surprised that you, being the size that you are, as small as you are frame-wise, you have not slipped a disc in your back yet or pinched a nerve. That is amazing.
I'm sitting on this thing for a minute.
So this 600 feet from her apartment to the Walmart, she can't even make it 600 feet. She had to stop several times. That's not who you were when you got on YouTube, Foodie, when you first made a channel. It's who you are now, though, because you let money and people with money take control, and you let your addictions get out of control. And you haven't stopped a single one of them yet. Fondue Spiteful Beach says, Foodie Beauty, and just like I said, Canada was to set up a home in preparation for Salah to arrive, funded off the back of the Beezers. Insane how blatant this is in everyone's face. Huh, let's watch the clip.
I honestly think you are still holding out hope for you and Salah, so you don't want to completely finish that apartment or put down too many roots.
Yeah, some of the Beezers are like, we don't know. We don't know if you're going to stay. We don't know if you're going to run back to Syria or try to.
I don't know.
I don't think Foodie even knows what she's going to do, especially now that she's been demonetized. I don't think she even knows. And I think Salah, if he is still hanging around, he's hanging around to get every last bit of coin out of her pocket before he lets her go. He might be stringing her along with, I'll still talk to you. Here's a video. Here's a picture, just to keep her sending money. And he's not going to let go until she runs out of money.
I think
which might be very, very soon.
Part of me hopes that I'll be completely honest, a part of me hopes that.
Hold on. I missed that part. I'm sorry. My apologies. Let's go back and listen to that again.
I don't know. I think a part of me like hopes that like I'll be completely honest, like a part of me hopes that.
You hope what? That he'll come over and see you? That he'll live with you? Or that you can go back there? That's a no in both directions. He's in Syria, Chantal. And he's doing to you what Nader did to you. Nader was very happy to take your money and stay away from you physically. That was the perfect setup for him. He could get what he wanted and not to deal with any of you. And Salah's doing the same thing. He's still able to get money from you without dealing with all of you. Do you think he's going to mess that up? No, I don't think so, girl. I really don't think so. He's not going to let you come back to Syria and be a problem and be a burden. He wants you to stay exactly where you're at to make the money and send it over to him if he's still talking to you. He wants that paycheck, girl. That's all he wants. And since you're not there being a problem and a burden, I'm pretty certain that he's working other targets behind the scene. He's using your money to work other women, scam them out of cash. You were just a jump off point. You are the piggy bank that he reaches his hand into, and you're so desperate that you'll keep sending him money, even though there's no reason to send him money. Absolutely no reason, other than the fact that you don't want to let go of him, and you know that he could easily shut the door in your face and keep it moving, but you don't want to move on, and he knows that, and he's taking advantage, and you're letting him take advantage. Full stop. And you know what? That would be poetic justice, wouldn't it? The scammer getting scammed. This person, Foodie, who has scammed so many people over so many years out of so much. Isn't it poetic justice that the scammer gets scammed? That the player gets played? That they get milked left and right? I think it's great. It's what she deserves. It's what she wanted. And the beautiful part is that she designed it herself. Just as what's going on right now with this demonetization, she played a game of chicken with YouTube and lost. She designed it all herself. She could save herself and do different content and go a different direction, but she doesn't want to. Her defiance is working against her. She is setting up her own downfall. It's not Girl World. It's not the reactors. It's herself. Foodie Beauty versus Foodie Beauty. Like I said, she is her own worst enemy. You want to know who your worst enemy is, Chantal? It's not a reactor. It's you. When you look in the mirror, it's you. It's always been you. You've always worked against yourself.
Like, after a little while, like I could, he could come here or something.
Why would he do that? Honest question, Foodie. Why would he do that? I mean, look through Salah's eyes for a minute with a little arched eyebrow. Look through his eyes. If you were Salah and you had a choice of door number one, he could stay in Syria, keep getting money from you, not have to deal with you physically, not have to be obligated to go out and run and do, donut runs at 2 a.m. Put up with your temper tantrums, put up with your temper, period. You could still get the money without any of the hassle. Or door number two, come to Canada and deal with all of that and the above. Which door would you pick? He's not going to come to Canada because he knows what a tyrant you would be. When he got there, you'd be controlling his every move. He wouldn't be able to go out. He wouldn't be able to do anything because of your little jealous, insecure nature. He can get what he wants by staying away from you. You know, that air of desperation works in his favor. He ain't coming over and you ain't going over there.
I honestly think you are still holding out hope for you and Celeste.
Okay. Moving on. Yeah, and this happened too yesterday in the live stream. So Chantal had her PayPal pinned, and then Teardrop has a situation going on and had her PayPal pinned. Then I guess Salah was in the chat, took down Teardrop's PayPal because Salah doesn't want anybody interfering in his bag or taking money out of his bag, although it's Chantal's bag, not his bag. It's the whole situation's messed up. So that happened. And thank you, Vondu Spiteful Beach. Lolafi says the consequences of not managing type 2 diabetes and eating on YouTube for money. Foodie Beauty is dizzy from sitting in a scooter. She's live now on her second monetized channel, The Beezer Show, proving how fit she is from mukbangs. Let's watch.
Getting a bit motion sick.
Oh boy. Chantal, if you are dizzy from riding a scooter, something is wrong with you. You need to go to a doctor. Although I suspect you're just doing this for attention. I've got motion sickness from a scooter. From a scooter. Really? Why didn't you get motion sickness from the walking? You're not making sense. I'm done with her lying. Let's keep it going. What else we got here? Anything? Two-tailed caper says, so her solution to breaking terms of service by glorifying BED is to break TOS by claiming she's starving herself for money. She really isn't the freshest lakma in the box, huh? Well, let's watch the clip, courtesy of Kelly as well.
I'm gonna complain to YouTube, don't worry. Because I'm gonna be like, I'm diabetic. If I go hours and hours without eating anything, that's not good for my health either.
Chantal, this is a stupid argument. You know what YouTube's going to tell you? If you're a diabetic or if you need to eat to maintain your blood sugar, you can do it before the live stream or after the live stream. If you're doing a video, you can stop the video and go eat. Eating on camera is not mandatory, okay? Or maybe do shorter live streams so you can eat, or do a break. You can do a live stream and have like a break video and play the break video for like 5 minutes, eat something really quick, and then come back on camera. Stop it. Just stop it.
That's self-harm. Thank you.
She's so stupid. I can't even. Can't even with her. Shoe Gal says Chantal is an addict. She has gotten away with indulging in her drug of choice for many years and making money off of it. She's in so deep she cannot stop screeching at YouTube that she has to eat and cannot understand the fundamental reason she has been demonetized. Yep. This is an addict who's angry that they can't monetize and make money off of and get addiction with her addiction. That's all it is. Sassy Cat, this is stuff about Twitch. Twitch's earning potential varies wildly, with top streamers making millions and most others earning very little, often below minimum wage, creating a huge income gap. Success depends heavily on building a loyal community through consistent streaming and multiple income streams like subscriptions, bits, ads, sponsorships, and merch. But it's a tough path, with many earning just a few $100s monthly or less. Well, that's not going to fare well for her. She needs more than a few hundred. Much more. Much, much more. What else we got here? Okay, I think we're done with the catch-ups here. Oh, that took a while. All right. So we got some clips to look at. This might be a bit of a longer react because I've spent a long time on the Twitter peeps, but that's all right. It was good to show that stuff, because I want to show those that have never seen these clips what Chantal was doing. Yeah, back in the day. There she is. And this was 3 years ago. And courtesy of the channel, It's Waterweight, I am going to leave a link for It's Waterweight's video down below in the description. You can check out all of their content or sub up to their channel if you'd like. So let's watch the clip.
Like that. Alright. Let's stretch. Oh.
Wow. She could actually lift her foot back behind her back in the day.
Stretch our back out, because go up that hill. Can you see?
So we're not just walking, we're walking uphill. And anybody that's ever walked up a hill knows that will test you and make you tired. And this video was done April 2021. Let's blow it all the way up. So April 2021, this was about 5 years ago, nearly 5 years ago.
See? I'm gonna go up and come back down to you.
Look how much easier she's walking. Look. All by herself. No help, no companion needed, no scooter, no walker. Look at that. What a difference being somewhat healthy makes in one's life. The mobility is there. The agility is there. She's not breathing heavy. She's not having a look. The Chantal of 2021 could have walked to that mall 5 times over without breathing heavy. Because that distance is more than 600 feet. Look. There she comes. And she could actually bend down without a problem. And yeah, she's breathing a little bit heavy, no doubt. But she's not like got sweat dripping down her face. She's not like out of breath, ready to pass out. This was her just a few years ago. And you were able to be around another person that was walking down the same path, and you weren't shy or awkward. You're just living life, Foodie. What happened? Where did this person go? Where did she go? This version of Foodie that had mobility, had agility, the breathing wasn't that bad, could do things by herself, didn't need anybody around. Where did she go? You sold her off piece by piece for YouTube monetization, for more beezers, for more feedies to gather around you and encourage you not to be healthy, to be as unhealthy as possible. That's where she went. You sold her down the river.
Thank you, guys. All right, let's get the hell
Wow, the difference in breathing alone is crazy.
out of here.
Look at you out there in nature.
Now you're just somebody that I used to know. Somebody. Let's go. My license plate. Well, like y'all haven't seen it anyway.
And again, this was the Foodie that she could go out and do things, and the subbies didn't have to literally beg her and pay her to go outside. Now they have to. Now her subbies and beezers, they have to literally beg her and pay her money for her to go take a walk. And back in the day, this is what she used to do for free, just to give people content. This was back when she cared about her content and doing different things for people. She cared about her channel. She was always doing different things. Not anymore.
Make Bigfoot noises?
And another thing, Foodie, you've claimed that you have agoraphobia. Where did that come from? Because this isn't the only video that's out there on the internet to show you walking around in nature and doing different things. For a long time, you did things just fine. You also claim to have allergies, but I got to look around for it. There is an entire video that you did, like an older video like this, where you were walking through a forest. And there's another one where you're walking through a field of like flowers and weeds and stuff. No allergic reaction whatsoever. You big liar. Saying, I got allergies. No, girl. You were doing too many party favors.
How does that work? Is that Bigfoot for you? All right, stop. In the name of love. What?
Look at all this. She's walking. Our girl is walking. Go, Foodie, go. Back in the day, you used to be the Foodie Scooty. Now you need a Foodie Scooty.
It's a dog. Oh, maple syrup. Let's go to a sugar bush. Yes.
Moving with a quickness, too. Look how fast she is.
I said woof. Woof, bitch, get out the way. Lucifer. Oh, that's so cute. Thank you. Oh my God, I'm already out of breath.
Yeah, but look how quickly it took her to get out of breath. It took a minute, not immediately.
All right, stop. And then, why did I eat tacos today? See, I'm skinny. Why can't I breathe? My battery's gonna die.
Yeah, this was considered her skinny era.
Let's go back. I don't want to go for a walk. I seriously can't breathe.
There's one more thing that I would like to bring up, Foodie. And it matters. I think over the years, as you gave control to the feedies and you started catering your life, even life off camera, to making money on YouTube, back in the day when you started YouTube, you used to actually care about yourself. You know, like you came on camera, makeup done, hair done, nails done. Like you put some work into your appearance, not so much anymore. And maybe that has to do with the weight gain. Maybe as you've gained weight over the years, you just adapted this I don't care attitude about yourself. You don't care about your body. You don't care about how you look to people. And you just stop doing the self-care. So that's another thing that you sacrificed for the sake of money.
How many minutes did I do? They're burning.
There she is, though. She's moving. She's grooving. Yep.
How did I walk so much in Cuba?
Yeah, you walked a lot in Cuba too. What happened?
From the resort to the cafeteria.
That breathing isn't as bad as it is now. Anybody that comes over here that might be a beezer, you cannot deny how she looked then, how she sounded then, her movements, her agility, her mobility, whole different animal compared to how things are right now. You cannot deny that. You can't. You just can't. Cannot. This is what she gave up for YouTube paychecks. This is what she chose to give up. It was her choice. Nobody forced her. Your choices determine your life. She has made a series of bad choices, which had affected many areas of her life. She sacrificed pretty much everything she could for the sake of YouTube, YouTube audience, monetization, super chats, memberships, super thanks, doing content off of YouTube. She gave up everything she could. She has nothing left. And what happened? She got demonetized. So she gave everything else up for money. And now the money's about to dry up too. And it's going to get real bad. So let's move on to the next clip, shall we? Where are we going next? Let's see. Let's see. What do we got here? How about we go right here to Not Again? So shout out to Not Again. This was done 5 years ago. And this goes into, this is the Foodie of the past, when she wasn't as unhealthy as she is now, still getting out and doing things, seeing nature, you know, doing the kind of content that you beezers have been begging her to do, paying her to do, and she ain't doing. Let's watch.
So,
Oh, let me just get past stuff.
Show you.
Look at that. Look where Foodie is. Out and about, you know, like she got a little bit of sunburn on her face, all by herself.
A bit of my local area. This is about an hour and 20 minutes or so from where I'm currently residing. And the Long Sault Parkway just reopened. It's been closed due to COVID-19. It has been reopened to drive-thrus only, though you can pull off to the shoulder as long as you're keeping your distance and walk around a bit. So that's what I'm going to do. But it is a drive-through experience, this Long Sault Parkway. So the Long Sault Parkway is a series of 11 islands that was created due to the construction in the 1950s of the St. Lawrence Seaway. The St. Lawrence Seaway was created as a means of accessible travel for ships, trade ships. So it goes through the Great Lakes all the way up into the Atlantic Ocean. So I'm going to
isn't it crazy, Beezers? The Foodie of old was giving up the content that you guys are begging her to do right now. Going out, going to parks, driving around. The old Foodie was giving up this content and wasn't grifting, wasn't saying, you want me to go out for 5 minutes, you got to pay me. No, she just did it because she wanted to do different things back. She cared about her channel. She cared about her content. She don't care no more. Why? Because those of you that are over there, she knows that she can get away with doing nothing and you'll keep giving her money. And she's as stubborn as a pack of mules. If she don't want to move, she's not going to move. And she knows that she can get away with not moving, not doing anything, giving excuses, and you guys will just eat it. She'll make you eat it. It's either eat it or get off my channel. And those of you that have been watching her for years, you don't want to leave her. You don't want to, get off her channel. So you'll put up with it. She knows you'll put up with it. So she gives you nothing.
show you that because of the construction of the St. Lawrence Seaway, over 6,000 people were displaced from their homes. And then roll the windows way down.
so that you can get the full nature experience.
Does she get out here?
Chantel, you can't be that fucking.
Yeah, like her way of experiencing nature was driving around. So as you can see, like there we go. Oh, we got to turn off. Sorry. There she is walking around. She's walking. I'll give it to her. She's walking. She actually got out, walked around. There she is by herself. And notice she has no fear about being by herself. Now she's anxious and afraid about even walking 600 feet because something might happen to her. But she didn't used to have that fear.
Outside for a few minutes.
What? No windows down.
Okay. She's back in the car. There's the stairs. Back in the house. So thanks to Not Again. I just wanted to show that briefly. So that's another example of her still having a little bit of health left. Where are we going next? How about we go here to Marley Hendrix saying Foodie Beauty is not a diet channel again. Let's compare 2021 to today. For those who might be wondering, does she care about her health? Would she ever make changes? Let's go all the way back to how her attitude was then and how it compares to now. So here we go. So there's the intro. There's her intro. The Foodie Beauty cycle continues. Yep. And here's some of the parts of the cycle. Comments and video ratings disabled. This isn't a weight loss channel anymore. I'm done with diets. Forgetting she's nearing diabetes and immobility. Well, she's really close now. Regular fast food mukbangs and off-camera B moments. Quote, I can film mukbangs and still lose weight. I'll just count the calories. Now, keep in mind, this picture that this video is showing was done like 4 or 5 years ago, and it still matters. She's still on the Chantal cycle. And look at this comment here. I can film mukbangs and still lose weight. Is she not still saying that? She is. Drop in subscriber and view counts. My loyal followers will always stick with me. I don't care. Quote, stop involving me in drama, even though she's the one involving herself. This all still applies. Nothing, and you know why? Because nothing has changed, except her health is getting worse. But let's keep going. Okay, hold on.
So I thought I would just do a talking video. I'm not eating in this video because I'm talking a lot and because I'm full from supper still. So I just wanted to kind of, I guess, answer in an official video some of your like questions about why I'm choosing to do mukbangs, yada, yada, yada. And I don't want to address this during mukbangs. I just want mukbangs to be enjoying food.
And by the way, many times over, Chantal has done videos just like this. Her going back and forth. 1 minute talking about her issue with food. The next minute defending eating on camera and saying, I've got a right to do it. I don't want anybody telling me what to do. Playing both sides of the fence. This is part of what got her in trouble. The fact that she just wasn't doing mukbangs per se. She was also involving health stuff, her health on her channel, talking about the problems of her health, her issue with food. So it was pretty clear to YouTube that she's got an issue with food and she's monetizing it because that is the picture that she painted for YouTube. Because she said outright, I've got an issue with food, a big one. I can't control myself. I've had B moments. That is why they put the hammer on her.
Food and having fun and just lighthearted content where I don't have to give anything of myself, like share anything that, you know, I've changed a lot. I know people refuse to believe that and are looking for all kinds of evidence and, you know, just trying to counter that. But I have changed a lot.
Name one. Name one thing that you've changed. Besides putting on an abaya and a hijab, name one positive thing that's made a bit of difference. I'll wait. Anybody got a book? I need a book to read because we're going to be here a while. What positive changes have you made, Foodie? And look, I understand you are a person, and every person has the right as a soul to make whatever choices for their life that they want to, whether they're negative or positive. It's your life. You can do what you want with it. But I also acknowledge that you, as a human soul, you were given a huge cup of fortune that most people don't get. A cup of opportunity and fortune mixed together. You could have taken that cup and run with it. You were making so much money on YouTube. You could have applied even half of it positively and changed your life. Shoot, you could have had a weight loss channel and had a whole different crowd of people behind you, encouraging you, and just maybe gotten sponsorships. By now, with the money that you made on YouTube, you should have had a house already paid for, a car already paid for, money put in savings, money invested in a business, sponsorships up the wazoo. What an underdog story that would have been, to be a 400-pound person and you're going to fight and claw your way to good health. That would have been content for years. I'm someone that I used to be a food addict, and I had a huge weight problem, and I'm turning my life around. People would have gotten behind that 1,000%, and all the feedies could have effed off, and you would have had a whole nother crowd. And then when YouTube changed its policies, you could have said, it don't matter. I'm doing great content. They have no problem with me. They had a problem with you because you went the wrong direction, because you made the wrong choices and you can't making them. And now you're still salty over the fact that you cannot turn addiction into YouTube content and get paid for it. That's why you're mad.
Set wise with certain things. Some things remain the same. Some things I'm still working on. But in the, I think it's safe to say after about almost 2 years of being different than what you're used to, a different foodie beauty, that this is going towards a newer lifestyle.
And here is, for those who have never seen it, we're going to stop right here. Here is this picture that was made 4 years ago. Let's see if she's changed. Let's start with phase 1 of the Chantal cycle. Weight loss attempt. Weigh in at 360, 370 pounds. By the way, y'all, this was the last time the foodie had an actual, real, authentic, genuine weigh-in. She got her on a scale back when she was with BB, and the scale showed 377 pounds. And you guys just saw how she was moving when she was nearly 400 pounds. So does anybody believe that she's not 500 pounds or above right now? Yeah, she is. Also, when she goes to the Walmart, those scooters getting drained so fast. You know why they're getting drained so fast? Because there's way too much weight on them. The extra weight pulls on the battery. Okay, moving on. Calorie counting and or new fad diet, cleanse, fast, detox. It'll work this time. I know my body. Forgetting all the times she failed this exact same diet in the past. 30-minute videos lecturing her viewers on pseudoscience as she reached from shady websites. Pardon me. Soft-spoken, healthy grocery hauls and mukbangs. BB will eat the rest of this. Gym vlogs and fantasies about being 120 pounds. Then there's phase 2, which is the breakdown. Community section purge. Video admitting she failed the diet and has been eating off camera, blaming everyone else for her own actions. I have BED. Could a drug addict take drugs in moderation? And she's still kind of saying that these days. Everyone expects my journey to be perfect. I was happier in 2017 filming mukbangs, long late night rants complaining about haters, talks about disabling comments if they don't start pandering to her. Then we have phase 3 with the B phase. Comments and video ratings disabled. This isn't a weight loss channel anymore. I'm done with diets. Forgetting she's nearing diabetes and immobility. She's already there. Regular fast food mukbangs and off-camera B moments. I can film mukbangs and still lose weight. I'll just count the calories. Drop in subscriber and view counts. My loyal followers will always stick with me. I don't care. Stop involving me in drama, even though she's the one involving herself. Then we have phase 4. Emotional video including crying, admitting she can't go on like this. Comments are re-enabled. Soft and vulnerable tone of voice. I am going through a lot right now. Apologizing to people she's attacked and hurt. admitting it was wrong to go back to filming mukbangs while dealing with ED, talks of getting professional help and therapy. I'm not going to give up on myself. Plans of starting a new diet. So that is the Chantal cycle. And anymore, it's not a cycle, it's a circle. The Chantal cycle has evolved to being a circle. She's going in circles with herself, with her audience, with her empty promises, and is spinning faster and faster and faster and faster and faster.
So basically for the mukbangs, I guess it kind of reminds me of a time when my channel was more simple. Like, you know, I had fun doing mukbangs in a lot of ways. I had fun telling you guys stories and stuff too. But
Chantal has gone on record many times as saying the reason why she likes the mukbang so much is because it was easy content. How easy is it to just get some fast food, turn the camera on, eat the food, turn the camera off, upload the content to YouTube and make just quick money? It's easy. It was easy for her. She liked doing it because it was easy. And then later on, it got even better for her because not only was it easy, there were actual feedies paying for her food. She would take requests from people. Hey, you want me to eat on camera? Pay for the meal. So she would get a free meal out of it, somebody else paying for the food, and she got to make money eating the meal. She was double and triple dipping with making the money. Somebody else pays for the meal. She makes a video or a live, gets all kinds of money for that. And then she might sell that footage to a feedie off camera somewhere. So yeah, she was making money every which way with a simple fast food meal.
even with an eating disorder, as a human being, you know, we have to eat food. And
everybody has to eat. But eating on camera is not a right. And if you have a problem with food, you shouldn't be eating on camera, because anybody with half a brain knows that if you have a problem with food, you should not put yourself in an environment or create an environment to where you know that's going to make the problem go out of control. Making a problem or an addiction or a disorder part of your content, bad idea. Very bad. Worst idea ever. Addictions, disorders, trauma, problems, they are all hurtful things that need healing. They are problems that are meant to be solved, not monetized.
I find whenever I go on diets, whenever I restrict food groups, whenever, you know, I start to have negative feelings about food, and it causes guilt, and it just perpetuates the binge eating cycle. And with the mukbangs lately.
So this is her making excuses why she can't cut back on her food. If I restrict, I start feeling anxious, and it just makes the problem worse. That is why you need counseling and therapy to get to the root of the problem, because the problem is up here. It's not in your stomach. It's in your mind. It's with your emotions. You need therapy for that. Why do I feel this way? Why do I have this reaction? What can I do about it to where I can get on top of this thing? But she's not doing that. She's making excuses why she should continue. She's excusing it away. She's making it seem normal to excuse it away and not treat it.
I feel like I get to kind of have more of a routine. You know, I wake up, I take my meds, you know, I have the healthy drink, I eat whatever the heck I want for my mukbang, I eat whatever I want.
There we go. And disorder justification, there it is.
And that satisfies a craving in me, you know. It is ridiculous that an overweight person.
And that's something that Chantal's done in the past. And those of you that have been watching Chantal for a long time, that you might be a beezer, you might have heard her say, oh, I had a craving. And because it was a craving, that makes it okay to give into it. It was a craving. She's minimizing it. I had a craving for this, that, and the other thing. So that makes it all right to do it. No, it's not all right.
Is told what to do or what they can and cannot eat, what they can and cannot wear on a public platform. It is ridiculous that people mental illness shame others. When you say things like, she's manic, she's bipolar, you're saying it in a derogatory, condescending way. And if I did have that mental illness,
If you did have it, you should be treating it.
what's your point? I'm going to just be talking to a brick wall. I'm not going to bother. You know, there's just so many people online that are so determined to misunderstand what I say and take a different meaning of it. And I just, you know what, I'm just going to let people do that. And I'm just going to keep quiet and know what my life is like. I've said so many times before that I'm not eliminating foods. I'm not restricting. It's my life. Let me fucking live it the way I want to. If you
Boom. She said it. Did you hear that, Beezers? She said it all the way back then. I'm not going to restrict myself. I'm not going to take care of my health. So anybody on that side of the fence that you're hanging around, because I get it. This is called the sunk cost fallacy. That's what this is. And if you don't know what that is, the sunk cost fallacy is when you invest so much time and so much energy, maybe so many years watching Foodie, that you get somewhat involved. And you're like, I've been watching this long. I am waiting for a happy ending. You've been hanging around waiting for Chantal to turn a corner. You're like, I'm hanging on because I want to see that moment where she has a breakthrough and she says, wait, no, I'm going to stop all this nonsense. This is crazy. I'm going to turn my life around. You've invested so much time in her that you're waiting for that moment to happen. I got bad news for you. It's not going to happen. I'm not being a negative Nancy saying that. I'm saying that as someone that had a problem with food, and one addict, even former, cannot lie to another. I've been watching Chantal for many, many, many years. Okay? Objectively, from the addiction standpoint, let me tell you this. I can tell she's not even close to being on the other side of things. You want to know how? Because as much as I've watched this woman day after day, night after night, I have not heard nor seen any sign that she's trying to fight against the addiction. I have yet to see her come on camera and say, I just ate a bunch of food and I hate this. I hate this. I'm so frustrated at myself. I don't see the fight in her. I don't see her getting mad at the addiction, mad that it's out of control, mad because she wants to change it so bad. She wants it to go away. She wants to take the control back. I have yet to see that. So what that tells me is she's not fighting. She's not trying. And if she's not fighting and she's not trying, then the changes that those of you that are beezers that you're waiting for, they're not going to happen. Look at her now. She's been demonetized because YouTube changed their rules. What is she doing? She's not saying, oh, okay, this kind of sucks. I built my channel on eating food and people liked it and I can't do it now. She is angry because she doesn't want to change the channel. She doesn't want to change the program. She doesn't want to take her content in a new direction. She wants to stick to the content that she was doing that fed her addiction. She's so mad about that. And that tells me everything I need to know about where she is with her food addiction. She wants to continue, and she's mad that she cannot continue and get paid for it. So if you're waiting for Foodie to get on the other side of things, her attitude alone speaks volumes. Pay attention.
have a problem with it, then just leave my channel. I'm keeping comments off. I don't know. I hope for a long time, because honestly, I'm so much fucking happier when I don't have to listen to it. When I don't have to hear people judging me for what I eat just because I'm fat. And life changes are not just one day you're different completely. Okay. It's gradual and it's painful and it's hard. Adapting to a new lifestyle. And
What lifestyle? You haven't made any changes.
I've had to grieve a lot of things from my old lifestyle, sure, of course, but it doesn't mean that it's what was best for me. And
you know what, Foodie? When you make changes in yourself, you don't have to tell people necessarily what the changes are. People can just see and hear that things are different. And then they can comment, wow, you've really changed. I can see it. I can feel it. Your energy is different. Saying that you've changed is not the same as changes actually occurring and people can see it for themselves.
that's choices that I have the freedom to make in life. And nobody truly knows completely my life, my circumstances, my everything except for me, my feelings. Okay. That's my personal business. I don't know why I ever decided to share some things like my blood sugar and stuff. So stupid. You don't know the full story on my health. You don't know everything. You don't know what I'm working on in therapy. You don't know my
She never went to therapy.
real blood sugar levels. You only know what I told you. And I shouldn't have opened that can of worms. Oh Lord, how I wish I didn't. But even
But you did. But you did. And why did you share things about your health? I got some theories. The first theory is you did it for content. You choose to get on YouTube and you choose to stream as much as you do. And you choose to do the videos that you do. Why? Because you want to get paid. You want to get a lot of money. So you need frequent content. So if you're not willing to go out and do different things, what do you use for content? Yourself. If you're not an active person doing active things and the focus can go on those active things, you got to put it on yourself, right? So you chose to work both sides of the fence. You chose to tell people about all your health problems, your issues with food, and so forth. Also, I feel that there is a manipulative reason why you shared your health problems, because you want to create an environment with your beezers by you were saying personal things to people, to the general audience, to the public, because you wanted the public to be personally involved and attached to you. It is emotionally manipulative. You do everything with purpose, Chantal. You want people to get emotionally attached and involved. You're treating them like friends when they are not your friends. You want them to worry over you and stress over you about what's happening with you. And oh, is Foodie sick? Is everything okay? Here, let me send her some money. Let me keep watching her. You overshared because you want people to care about you. At the same time, you don't give a damn about yourself. You want people to care about you more than you care about your damn self. Emotional manipulation for the purpose of money.
if I didn't, people would still make those comments. I've turned comments off again because the minute I open them up, it's just constant negativity about what I'm eating and shaming me for what I'm eating. Like that fucking help. I'm not going to be that person anymore. It's over. It's over with that person. It's done. And
yeah, it's done. This is back when she was in Kuwait. Honest question, sincere question, Beezers. Has she changed? I'm asking the question, has she changed? Has she changed her eating habits? Has she become more healthy since she's come back to Canada? She made you guys a whole lot of promises about what she was going to do. What has she done since she made those promises? Nothing. And there's no excuse, is there? You guys acted as investors. You invested in her content, her life. You gave up a lot of money for her to have a new start. And she has yet to really get started. You invested in her. You chose to do so. And she chose to basically 2 middle fingers up. Screw you. I got your money. I played in your face. What are you going to do about it? You ain't going nowhere. I know you're not going to go anywhere. You're going to stay right here so I can play in your face as much as I want. And nanny boo boo. That's what she did. So she's got back to Canada. All she's really done is sit on her butt and eat a bunch of food and beg and grift and beg and grift and beg and grift. And she will continue to do so because she's being allowed to. But she's not getting on top of her food issue. She's not going to therapy. And I don't want to hear any freaking excuses about, I can't go to therapy. There's online therapy that she could sign up for if she doesn't want to leave the house. She can get therapy in a lot of ways. She can get counseling in a lot of ways. Where there's a will, there is also a way.
And I'm not going to be going back to that. So I know a lot of people think this newer version of me is boring. It's not what you're used to. My audience was mostly people who were, there to watch me be completely silly, totally TMI, things that I would never want to talk about openly now, and things I would never in a million years do. It's my life. Let me live it. Again, if you're so bothered, then just leave. People are sickeningly obsessed with what fat people put in their mouths.
Chantal does that. 1 minute she's saying, if you don't like it, leave. At the same time, recently she was on her live stream begging people to stay. Why? Because she can't afford for people to leave, especially right now. She wants people to be exposed to her content, to watch her content and give her money. She doesn't care about people. She doesn't invest in people, but she wants people to invest in her, to fund her lifestyle and keep that lifestyle going no matter what that lifestyle is, even if it is harming herself.
Ridiculous. As a food addict in a way. And then I, can negotiate with myself, okay, I'm going to have this healthy later, blah, blah, blah. And I know a lot of people.
No. Stop. You are not negotiating with yourself when it comes to food. You know what you're negotiating with? The addiction. And you do not negotiate with addiction. With the moment you start negotiating with addiction, you've already lost the battle. Period. That's like somebody who's an alcoholic saying, I can just have one drink. It's not a big deal. I can have one drink. Anybody who's ever been an alcoholic will tell you one drink is too many and one drink is never enough. And that also applies to anything else in the world that somebody can be addicted to. You're addicted to something, you're addicted to it. You cannot do it. Although food is unique because we have to keep eating, right? We can't starve ourselves. But the thing is, you're negotiating with fast food, unhealthy food. And the addiction monster in your head don't want nothing to do with healthy food. So therefore, you don't want anything to do with it. So when you're negotiating, you're not negotiating with yourself. You're negotiating with addiction. And addiction will let you talk. They'll say whatever you want to say. Go ahead. I'll pretend to negotiate. Speak your words. Speak them. And then later on, it gets its way. Yes, it does.
We're saying, well, you're fooling yourself. It's a slippery slope, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
But over restricting doesn't work either for me. You know what I mean? In a way, it's worse. Yeah, I've talked about my blood sugar levels. But you know what? As I've said also, I can't do drastic, okay? I'm trying to heal my relationship with food. And that's the only way I'm going to get anywhere in the first place.
And you don't heal your relationship with food on camera. You tried it, you failed multiple times. So I guess it doesn't work, does it? And you will never be able to repair your relationship to food at the same time you're monetizing food content. Moron. How can you repair your relationship to food if you're using food as content and monetizing that? Make it make sense. It don't make sense. It just doesn't. Come on now.
Otherwise, it's back to binge city. And that's even worse for my diabetes than the tacos I had for dinner. But these are what I'm doing right now. I don't want to do any more on my channel. I don't want to justify as a larger person with health problems. I don't want to justify to people, strangers, why I'm eating what I'm eating. It's so triggering.
You know what? People coming to Chantal, people that care, people that are not the feedies, coming forward and saying, Chantal, you really shouldn't eat all that fast food. You got health problems. You're sick. You're losing your mobility. Them coming forward and voicing their opinion, which they're free to do on a public platform because she chose to do all of this in front of the public. Therefore, the public has a right to give their opinion. If you put stuff out there like this, anybody coming forward and expressing care and concern, she automatically deems that as shaming. No, it's not shaming. It's people that actually give a doggone. versus the ones who are always talking about food in your chat and asking when the next mukbang is and can we have this fast food and I'll pay for a meal. You want to know who the real haters are, Foodie? It's the ones who are funding your addictions, enabling the addictions, sending you money for said addictions so that you will get on camera and do the food and then they can get their rocks off for free versus going to an adult site as they should and having their fetish fulfilled in private on adults only forum. The cheap feedies who don't want to pay the memberships come to YouTube to get their rocks off for free. When really what they should do is go back in the shadows where they fucking belong, go to an adult site and watch it properly. Because adult fetishes have no business on YouTube. YouTube let that go on for too long, and I'm glad they're shutting it down. And you're mad because they're shutting it down because that breaks your whole addiction machine. It is smashed to bits, and there's no bringing it back. So shake your fist all you want about that, but it is what it is. You had so many opportunities and so much time to turn things around. You chose not to because, hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Well, it was broke the entire time. It was breaking your health. It was breaking your mental health. It was breaking your mobility and your agility. Now you got almost none of that left. As much as you like to think the system wasn't broken, it was broken. It was breaking you. How much longer can you go on like that? For real. Even if you had monetization, how much longer before you became bedbound? As much as you hate YouTube for what they did, at the same time, what happened might have actually saved your life. And you don't understand, Foodie, that you being the way that you are and doing the things that you do, you might have been a walking liability for YouTube, and YouTube does not like liabilities. What if you had had a heart attack on camera, on live? What if you had had a medical emergency, a stroke, with everybody watching? Does anybody want to see that? Because I don't. I don't think anybody else should either. They've already got one massive lawsuit on their hands. I'm sure they don't want another one. They're a company. They got to look out for their best interest, not yours.
You don't understand that. You're not helping. You think you are. You think that other people being nice are enabling and that you're helping with your shaming, shitty comments. It's the fucking opposite. Okay? Everyone has free will. Everyone's allowed to live their life the way they want to. If I want to be...
And you know what? If you didn't want the shaming comments, easy solution. Eat off camera. Nobody has to see. Nobody has to know, and therefore there will be no comments. Easy, problem solved.
I be healthy 1 minute and do what I want the next. That's my fucking prerogative. But just because you see me eating rolled tacos or a meal that's not steamed fucking vegetables and quinoa does not mean, or chaffles or 8 pounds of cheese does not mean I'm not doing anything and that I've given up. Especially to a community of people who are also overweight, obese, and don't ever show themselves, but have a lot to say about what I'm eating, about my weight, yada, yada. And I don't want to justify my choices, you know, just because I'm a fat person online eating something that's not a salad. I don't want to do it. How is it that people have an issue with me eating corn tortilla chips, but don't have an issue with people eating fucking bacon and cheese and waffles just because they're on a keto diet? Because it's a trendy diet.
Chantal, let's have this lesson one more time. You weren't just a person of a bigger size coming on camera eating food. You are a person of a much bigger size with a confirmed eating issue coming on camera and monetizing that issue. Do you see how the picture changes? Do you see the problem? Other mukbangers may not have an issue with food. That means they're able to do a mukbang, eat the food when the camera's turned off. They're not having B moments off camera. It's not a problem that's continuing. They can just eat their food and maybe go work out, burn the calories off. That was not you. That's never been you. Okay? So, also, it was pretty obvious You weren't just doing mukbangs. You were catering to the feedies. Yeah, you were. That's actually how I got into reacting to you, because I saw what you were doing. I saw how you were taking requests during live, fulfilling the request for the feedie on live, trying your best to eat everything, laying down to digest just a little bit so you can put more in. Girl, I saw you all the way over here. That's when I started clocking you, because I saw that harmful eating, and I saw why too.
What I do off camera with my life is totally up to me. It's my choices. So that's it. Mukbangs are valuable entertainment for people who enjoy them. There's a lot. I enjoy them. I didn't really used to love them, but I always did watch them. But now I start to love them, because it's just like, you know, it's just drama free, and I don't know. I just like drama free content, honestly. I don't want to close my channel because I love doing.
Let me tell y'all something. This is something that I thought long ago. I think even back in the day, that Foodie would take, she's been on YouTube for many years, and she's attracted many feedies. I can name several examples. Let's go back. I'm sure a lot of people remember the Lakma Fairy feedie. Some of the feedies were, you know, when she lived at the villa with Pete's, were sending food and clothes and such to her house, gifts from the feedies. There was also somebody that paid her to eat paneer for an entire month. There was also a very interesting feedie. Had a bit of a quirk, this one. Never forget this guy. So this guy had a quirk about, he didn't like the sound of a metal fork or spoon hitting a plate. So he got Foodie a metal spoon, a wooden spoon and fork that she would eat with. Because he was so unique, I could never forget that one. Yeah. So she's had many feedies over the years that, because of her YouTube channel, and she had an Instagram, they would contact her on Instagram and say, hey, can you do this particular content for me? She'd film the video for that person, make money off the video, and then turn around and put said video on YouTube. So she was double dipping and making money off of making content once, making money off it twice. And also, she was using her YouTube channel as a portal, as an infomercial of sorts, to get in front of feedies, to basically advertise herself. Hi, I'm Foodie Beauty. This is what I look like. This is the kind of content that I do. If you want better content, or maybe more spicy content, contact me on Instagram. And then it went further with the Cameo. What do you think she uses the Cameo for? Chantal would never have kept up with the Cameo if it weren't making her money. But how would she make a lot of money off Cameo? Talking to her feedies there incognito, because it's not a feedie site. Speaking of which, Chantal, once upon a time you did get busted being on an actual feedie site. The farmers found out about it, posted about it. Next thing you know, the profile's gone. So yeah, you have gone on the feedie sites. But then you decided, you know what? I'm going to go on Cameo and be incognito about it. Nobody will know that I'm using it for the feedies. Yeah. So you've expanded outward. It started out with you just doing stuff on YouTube. The feedies found you, started talking to you off camera. You started getting stuff with them. Then you're like, contact me on Instagram, contact me on Cameo. You had this whole network system to keep it all going, to keep doing the food content. And the feedies are very happy to help you. System's broken now. Now you're mad.
I love making videos for people who like to watch them, not for people who obsess over everything I do and hate me for it, for what I put in my mouth. And no, not just feeders, because do you know how many mukbang channels there are? And if you go through those people's comments, there's not one sexual comment about feederism or whatever.
It doesn't have to be sexual. And other mukbangers haven't taken things as far as you. They just do their videos on YouTube. They post them. But they don't say, hey, talk to me on Cameo. Talk to me on Instagram. Blah, blah, blah. No, that's you. You're the one that took it that far.
How is it okay for skinny mukbangers to gorge on thousands of calories, but it's
Because they don't have an issue with food and you do. And you said so.
not okay for me to eat any fucking thing other than salad and lean protein? I don't want to come on here and explain why I'm eating a cheeseburger. I don't want to come on here and explain my weight loss or gain or whatever the heck. And be like, I gained half a kilo this week, guys. No, I don't want it. And I don't want to, also go balls to the wall and super strict on a diet. And
Yeah, well, I've said it before, Chantal, and I'll say it again. When you are a person, you have a problem with food, like the overeating, you have a food addiction, diets don't work. They don't work. They will never work because diets are all about losing some weight, losing a few pounds, or losing more than a few pounds. Diets don't apply to people who have issues with food. You need therapy, you need counseling, you need inpatient. You need to take care of your health. Certainly, you got to take care of the physical part, but you also got to take care of the mental, emotional part, because disorders, addictions, there's emotional stuff tied with that. There's maybe some trauma or something that has to be worked out in therapy. You got to do the upstairs work with the downstairs work. You got to put the both together. They got to work together. You never wanted to do the mental work or the emotional work. But you're right, diets don't work. Because you got to deal with what's going on upstairs first.
I don't care if you want to unsubscribe. I'm not going to stop living how I want to live just because you disapprove of it. I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm not murdering anybody. I'm not doing anything morally wrong. You don't have to watch it. Eating videos are not for everybody.
I want to go back to that comment that you just made. What I'm doing is not morally wrong. I don't know about that. You've been getting on YouTube and doing all kinds of adult fetishes in front of people, and none of your lives and none of your videos were age restricted because you wanted full monetization. Because of you, over the years, people have been exposed to the following adult fetishes: the Foodie fetish, adult fetish, exhibitionism, voyeurism, flashing private parts of your body, very adult fetish, BDSM, poo fetish, talks about I'm going to mess my pants. That's an adult fetish. Farting, adult fetish. Exposing all kinds of people to those things. Getting intoxicated on camera, adult fetish. And Foodie, you were just in the store, and very young girls approached you saying they watch your content, which proved my point long ago that people of all ages are on YouTube, even young people. And many times over, you have put tags on your videos and your lives that you had no business placing on there. Things like BED recovery, blah, blah, blah. So you are basically whistling in people who's had problems with food, and you're putting tags on your videos so they would find your videos and find your lives when they might be in recovery, and maybe watching you would make them relapse. And that goes for other things that you've done on camera, bitch. You're messing with other people's recovery. And you're exposing young people to these adult fetishes? Are you kidding me? And you're not doing anything morally wrong? You have no idea how many people you might have hurt or affected just by exposing people to things they really shouldn't be exposed to. But you've not been morally wrong. Stop it.
At all. And so that's fine as well. There is an audience for it, obviously. I don't want to turn off comments. And then even some people I thought were like really good supporters are like, have turned on me for I don't even know what the fuck. Obviously not real supporters to begin with. You can leave too.
So if you are in Foodie Beauty's camp, you are not a supporter unless you are also an enabler. Let me say that again. You are only a supporter if you are an enabler. You have to enable her in some way. You have to negatively support her in some way, whether it's money or just going along with what she says, agreeing with her even when she's wrong. To be a supporter, you must be an enabler. If you're not an enabler and you stand on business and you say, I am here and I care about you, that's not enough for her. You are not considered a true supporter unless you are also an enabler. So, those of you that are on Foodie Beauty side of the fence, how do you feel about that? Truly, how do you feel about somebody essentially saying you are not a true supporter unless you also enable me? What she wants y'all to do over there is to be in her audience, give her the view, which makes her money, maybe throw her some extra money through memberships, and keep your mouth shut. Even if she's right there in front of you, hurting herself, doing self-harm, don't protest. Don't protest at all. You're not allowed. You're not allowed to speak up. You are not allowed to oppose. You're not allowed to have an opinion. You're not even allowed to walk up to her and say something polite out of concern. That will piss her off. She's an addict that wants a hug box of enablers, financial supporters, funders, backers to back her up in her addiction and keep it going. And I ask the honest question, those that are beezers, are you okay with that? Are you all right with that? Being that kind of a person that you are helping somebody hurt themselves and watching their decline and taking part in that. Just a question. Think about it. Answer it yourself. You don't have to answer to me.
I really don't care. I don't need you. So, yeah, judge me all you want for that. But for me, there's just no way. There's just no way. No way. No way. I don't enjoy it. It depresses me even more. It makes me feel like losing weight and getting healthy is like a punishment.
Why is it a punishment though? Why would it be a punishment to get healthy and lose the weight? Why would it be a punishment? I'll tell y'all why. Because Foodie Beauty has catered her life off camera, her life on camera to making the feedies happy. And she's afraid of losing them, afraid of pissing them off. She's afraid of losing their financial support and their financial backing. Afraid that if she loses the weight, they'll go to somebody else on YouTube and give that person all of their money. It's all about embracing the money, keeping the money around, keeping it going. She does not want to let it go, period. So she caters her appearance, her activities, her life, her diet, her everything to those ridiculous feedies. And I'll tell you what, Chantal, and you're going to hate me for this, and bitch, I don't care. Here's something to think about. Those feedies that you work so hard to make happy, if something happened to you, mama, they are not going to be holding your hand when you will end up in the hospital. They're not going to be there saying, I'm so sorry, Foodie. I hope you get better. They're not going to be there to comfort you or care for you or pay for your medical bills. You know what's going to happen? If something happens to you on your channel, they'll just move on to the next because there's always a next. They'll find someone else that they can prompt eat and eat and eat and eat until something happens to them. And then they'll move on to another person and another and another and another, and it will keep going. They won't mourn over you for very long if something happens to you. they'll just turn their attention to somebody else that will satisfy their fetish. Their care of you is not them caring of you. They care about what you give them. The fact that you satisfy their fetish. But they don't care about you as a person. That's where you got it all wrong. You think they care about me. Do they? Would a person who cares about another person encourage them to get sick on their behalf and for their fetish? Would a person who cares about another person say, I know you've got diabetes. I know you've got high blood sugar. I know you've got health problems. Eat a mukbang anyway. Make me happy. Here's a couple $100. No. A person who cares about another person would say, I don't want you to be sick. I don't want you to get any sicker. Please stop. Please find a way out of that vicious cycle. But they're not doing that, are they? They don't care about your well-being. They don't care about your health. They want you to be sick and stay sick for their benefit. So if you want to know if they care about you, look at that. Look all the way at that.
Feels like a punishment when I do that. So
how many times have you started a diet and the very next 5 hours you're stuffing Oreos in your face? Well, guess what? I'm no different than you, aren't I? And every single person judging me, every single overweight person judging me has been there.
Despite being a food addict, despite having, you know, I think to a degree we're all addicted to some kind of food, especially if you.
No. This is for doing the whataboutisms. We're all addicted to something. Not everybody, Foodie. Not everybody. And certainly, I'm sure there's lots of people out there that don't take their addictions and give them a job. Make them clock in and clock out for the sake of a paycheck. That's you.
You like junk food and you eat it every day. Try stopping it cold turkey. It's hard.
If I trigger you when you have an eating disorder, don't watch me then. Don't watch me. I'm not responsible for.
But the thing is, Foodie, like you're saying, if you got a problem with food, don't watch me. And yet it's you that you put tags on your videos in your lives, whistling in people that have food issues. You want them to watch you. You put the sign out, watch me. Here's a tag on my video, watch me. Find me. Come over here. I want my crowd to get bigger. I want all kinds of people with all kinds of fetishes and all kinds of issues. I want you guys to watch me. They say your vibe attracts your tribe. What is your vibe, Foodie? And what kind of tribe have you gathered to yourself? I suspect there might be people in your audience, maybe they have issues with food. Maybe they're unhealthy. And because you're unhealthy and you're sick, they feel at home with you. They may gravitate towards you for that. And you know what happens? When you hang out with people who are just as troubled as you or same problem as you, it gets reinforced. If you're someone and you've got issues and you are around the better, the right people, those right people will encourage you to be better, to fix yourself, to heal. But if you're a broken person and you hang around somebody who's just as broken, more broken than you know what happens? You'll stay broken. Just something to think about.
How you live your life or who I'm triggering. I'm not responsible for everyone's actions.
Do you know how annoying it is to have so many people comment carb hate? I don't know, just like some of the comments are so annoying, and I don't know, I just can't stand it. I don't care if you judge me for that. It's for my life choices, whatever. It is what it is. That's just how I'm happier, just not doing that, not dieting or whatever. And I love the pleasure that food brings, like good food.
We're going to stop it here. We're going to cut this off. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see her stuffing her face. No thanks. Let's see. Do we have anything else here? Let me look real quick. Let me look. One more. Just one more. And this is courtesy of What's Happening. This is after she and BB broke up. Again, this is the past Chantal. Why am I showing this clip? Comparison, context, how Foodie sounded back in the day versus how she sounds now. Remember what I said about it? The difference is it's so stark, because they say that obesity can affect brain function, cognitive function. Please pay attention to how she's talking here, how she sounds here versus how she sounds now, where she's always losing her train of thought. And what was I saying? What was I saying? Like, she can't even complete a sentence. But let's go ahead and watch the clip.
Therapy center that there are some therapists who specialize in things that I'm looking to deal with.
Also, I'm showing this clip because this was 5 years ago. She knew that she had a problem with food. She could have stopped it. She never did. So it's not like Foodie does not have awareness of what's wrong with her. She's fully aware. She just doesn't want to quit it.
I have a long list of things I deal with, so I'm actually going to make a physical list of things that I want to tackle in therapy. So yeah, so some of the things that I really need to tackle obviously are just behavioral changes, my eating disorder, food addiction, anger, depression.
Yeah, and for those that didn't know, Chantal's got a big anger problem. That's a problem too.
Past trauma, grief, the hysterectomy, this breakup, these life changes, just everything.
Yeah, it sounds like you got a whole lot of things you need to work out in therapy. And it's a doggone shame that you never went to therapy and worked all kinds of stuff out. But again, that was a choice that you decided to make. Sliding doors. What had happened if you had gone to therapy, worked out your stuff? Where would you be right now? Would you be 500 plus pounds? Would your life be a mess? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not.
Adulting, stress of life, just somebody to give me their professional opinion on some direction, anything, you know? So I'm going to be doing that. I'm reconsidering OA. I'm just not a big fan of a 12-step program, but I'm willing to give it another chance and try to look at it at a different angle. It might be the super religious aspect of it. I just don't get.
Forgive me if I'm wrong. Those that know can sound off about this. I'm willing to learn new things. I'm willing to learn from other people that have life experience, but I had a male friend who has been clean and sober for over 30 years. And I congratulate him on his sobriety. But he's been a sponsor. As I understand it, when you do things like Overeaters Anonymous or AA or something like that, they don't bring religion into it. Am I wrong? Please let me know in the comments. So I don't know what she means about religious aspect.
So there's that. So I have an appointment booked for Monday with the therapist, which it's Wednesday, so it's not too far off. I also am doing a reboot with the weight loss doctor I had that meal plan with. And I think that I definitely...
You know, I'm just going to say this. If you're trying to make changes off camera, away from YouTube, about doing the Overeaters Anonymous, going to doctors and all that, how can that possibly work if you're using food and overeating and making that part of your content and making money with it? Don't the two clash together? On one side, you're saying, I want to make all these life changes. At the same time, you're including a problem that's a big problem in your life. When you're trying to make changes like that, you can't go halfway. You can't say, oh, I'm going to do this off camera and then make money with the problem on camera. It just won't work. It will fail. And it did fail massively.
Definitely need to follow some kind of guidance and structure. And I think
you can't treat a problem if you're monetizing the problem. Okay? You can't do it.
I go see this doctor once a week. Then I have that support. A lot of people were wondering, I think I've just seen some comments floating around somewhere. I need to stay out of comments, where it was like all these, larger YouTubers who claim to have binge eating disorder, never been diagnosed. I've actually been diagnosed.
So she knew. She knew all the way back then, I've got an issue. I need to treat the issue. Never treated it. She monetized it. She glorified it. She found people that would keep it going and give her money. She leaned into that versus leaning into the solution for the problem.
I see a doctor at an eating disorder clinic, and I have been formally diagnosed. Thank you very much. Not that I want to be, I'm just clarifying that. So I'm also restarting that program at the Weight Loss Clinic on Monday. In the meantime, I have my booklet still I can refer to and try to eat with that accordingly, write down what I'm eating, bring it to my session.
I mean, again, we've all heard this stuff from Chantal before. I just want to show this clip for those that have never seen it. Like, look how much different she sounds. Like the way she's talking. She can make complete sentences. She can put out complete thoughts. She's not lost in thought. She doesn't run off and forget what she said. What a difference 4 or 5 years can make. And again, obesity does have the ability to affect cognitive function. I don't know if it's affected hers. Only a doctor would know that. But the way she's talking here versus now, it seems like maybe something happened.
So I'm feeling positive about those things. I don't give it a chance. I just kind of veer off and go like give into my old ways, my old habits, give into my addiction every time. So I think I really want to see what would happen if I just give it even 30 days.
I think back in the day, Chantal, that maybe there was something in you very, very small that wanted to fight against it. But I think as your channel grew, as you started making money, as you started getting more attention, as more feedies gathered around you, and you felt like a star, you just completely shut down that voice. And I know this may sound crazy, but y'all entertain my crazy for a minute, all right? Remember when she used to go that shh, I said shh, right? That became a thing. That shh, I said shh. I would always wonder, like, who is she shushing? There's nobody in the room talking to her. Who could she possibly be shushing? I have a working theory. This may be crazy. I could be wrong, but I'm putting it out there anyway. So any normal person, when you do something wrong, you got that inner voice that tells you you're doing wrong, right? That's your conscience speaking to you. You're doing wrong, or you shouldn't be doing this. I think all those times that she said, shh, I said, shh, that might have been her inner voice saying, you really shouldn't be doing this. You really shouldn't be eating this. So she was telling that inner voice to shush, be quiet. I don't want to hear it. Being defiant, perhaps, to her own conscience. Again, I could be wrong. I could be crazy, but she did it for a while. Then she stopped doing it. Maybe because the voice gave up and said, it doesn't make any difference. Let's let her do what she wants.
And obviously I plan on doing it forever, but I just want to just take it a chunk of time at a time and start with, okay, I'm going to do this for a full 30 days. I'm going to work this doctor's program for a full 30 days and see what happens. So I know I change the content on my channel a lot. I'm so torn on whether, I was so torn on whether, like I said, I would feel this way one minute and then the next I'm like, okay, you know, mukbangs are easier to do.
Easy content, like I said, that's what attracted her. The mukbang trend was hot back in the day, and she hopped on the back of it and said, this is a trend. People are doing it. I'm going to hop on the back and make money, and she did.
They give me an excuse to eat like crap.
Boom goes the dynamite. It gives me an excuse to eat like crap. Out of her own mouth, it gives me an excuse to eat like crap.
They're more lucrative in a way.
Yeah, making money.
But like, mukbang's worth my health? Like, are they worth my health, my life? Like, you only get one body, you only get one life. Like,
right. You get one body and one life, and what you do with it is what you want to do with it. You chose to keep going when you knew that you should stop. So every choice was yours, Chantal. Your life. And you are at the heart and the center of your own life. We all are. Every day that we wake up, we are at the heart and center of anything that happens in that day, happens that week, happens that year. If you don't like your life, make better choices. Change what you don't like, switch it around, make improvements or not. And if you don't make changes, and if you're suffering, and if you're sad, you're depressed, it's because you haven't made the right choice yet, or choices. And with full awareness of what was going on with you and what was wrong, you chose to keep making bad choices, motivated by money, motivated by attention. Because along the way, making that money, you found that with the money came a little bit of power. You had lots of money and you could take power over men. You found men that were wanting money or hurting for money, and you can get control over them. And if you got control over them, you're basically doing like forced companionship. Hey, you want some money? You got to put up with all of me. And there were some stupid men out there that decided, yeah, I want to be taken care of by a sugar mama, so I'll put up with it. So they did. And that was a way for you to gain companionship. So it kept you on. It egged you on to keep doing them mukbangs, to keep eating that food, to keep catering to those doggone feedies. And here's something else, Foodie. I think you started out on YouTube as Chantal Marie Olive Sereau. You came on YouTube as your authentic self. And that is the reason why so many people got into you, because you were coming on, you were being human, you were being real for a while. But then along the way, you created a character, Foodie Beauty. And this character became an overblown caricature of yourself. Very exaggerated, very gross, very obnoxious, very rude, very defiant. And you poured everything you could into this persona, Foodie Beauty. And you gave nothing to your real authentic self. You gave nothing at all. You did not take care of yourself. You were not concerned for yourself. All that mattered was the persona. Why? Because the persona had access to everything and could get everything that the person could not. Foodie Beauty, the person, is alone, is lonely, doesn't have anybody, doesn't have any friends, maybe socially awkward. The persona, the YouTube personality, Foodie Beauty, could turn on a camera anytime and people want to talk to her. The persona makes money, has money. The persona has the money and the power to attract a man through money. You see where I'm going with this? Because you gave so much to the persona, you gave nothing to the person, and hence the person, Chantal, the life suffered and went into ruin. And the more it went into ruin, the more that you paid attention to Foodie Beauty. Because while you were having your face in the camera, looking into that black mirror known as your phone, fooling yourself you actually look like that with the way of filters, you could pay attention to the persona and the attention you were getting in the persona, and you could ignore what was going on behind you with the person. Make sense? I think it makes sense. You just kept yourself distracted being Foodie Beauty. I think the persona hated the person, Foodie Beauty, and all the problems that she carried with her. And the deeper you got down that hole, the darker it got, the more you left your real self behind. Now you're so far down the hole, you can't see sunlight.
Like, and I'm totally doing that, like deteriorating my health for money and for views, or,
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, the long sigh. So it's not worth it. When in
Nope.
the end, it's not worth it, because
Nope.
health is priceless, you know? So I think
Another thing, Foodie, if you're wondering why didn't any of my relationships work, It's because you are already involved to something. You are already faithful to something that you would never cheat on, unlike the men in your life. You want to know why your relationship to Pete's and BB and Salah and Natter never worked? Because you were already involved with something. You were married to addiction. And you've always been faithful to it. That's the one thing you did not cheat on. And you would never be unfaithful to. And as long as you're married to addiction, any other relationship is going to fail. Whether it's to a man, your family, all other types of relationships will fail. There's a saying, a man takes a drink, the drink takes a drink, and then the drink takes a man. In your case, Foodie eats the food eats the food, and then the food eats Foodie. And that's where you are right now. Addiction has consumed you, and it's getting ready to swallow you whole. And you don't even see it. It's done so much damage to you and it's affected you so much, you don't want to admit it. You don't want to admit that it's made your life in ruins. Even now, with all the damage it's done, you won't let go of it. You're defiant. You want to hang on to it. You want to continue this toxic relationship with food. When now you can't monetize that toxic relationship and you're mad about it.
Even though it's more fun to sit here and talk about farts and TMIs and eat delicious food, I don't feel good. Like, I don't feel good. And I can't keep going that way, you know? I think I'm going to really just try to focus on these 30 days. And I hope that you guys will join me. Everything that's happening with this breakup, which I'm still having a hard time dealing with because being alone is going to be really hard on me. And I'm
going to say something else. This was when she and BB broke up. And if you have a problem with food, there's nothing like a breakup or a heartbreak or trauma or a death to trigger the crap out of you. Okay? So Chantal is an emotional eater. She even said that. So she's away from Salah. Guarantee you she's eating a lot behind the camera. A lot. She's alone. She's bored. She's not taking her attention and putting it somewhere else. What do you think she's doing in that apartment all by herself? Why do you think that she's been in Canada and clearly she's not lost any weight? Because if she lost some weight, we'd be able to see it in her face. That's the first place it would show up. She's gaining weight. She's not losing weight. Like, she eats when she's with somebody, but she eats more when she's alone. And she's not doing what she needs to do to take her attention off of food.
Very dependent emotionally. And I'm going to be trying to be completely independent because I don't want to move from here back in with Pete and be dependent on him.
Although you were.
Financially, everything. I've already talked to him. He knows my struggles. He realizes it more now because I've opened up to him a lot more about it than when we were living together. So he won't be fetching me junk.
But she did. Oh, sorry. Excuse me. Sorry.
But now I just want to be completely independent. And that's a big, big change, you know?
But the thing about being independent, Chantal, as long as you have addiction in your life, you will never be fully independent. Because addiction takes control. Being independent means you're free to do what you want. But if you have addiction in your head 24/7, it's the silent master telling you what to do, dictating your day, your night, demanding to be fed all the time. How can you be truly independent if addiction has consumed you? There's just no way.
I think it needs to happen. Like, it really needs to happen.
It's the craziest thing. She's a control freak. She doesn't like being told what to do. And yet all these years, something has been telling her what to do. The dominator is in her own head.
So a lot of growing up to do here, growing as a person too, you know, just like it's tough. So I'm going to try to just, like I said, I'm back at the drawing board today, doing these meal plans with this doctor's plan, and just, I guess, back to thinking of content to do that's not really food-based, other than showing you guys what I eat in a day for accountability, or for just showing you that I'm working the plan, or different meal ideas, but healthy. But just eating on camera, I think I understand that, and I know I've said this before, but I think it's a destructive behavior for
It is.
me. So I think doing different things with my channel, like actual vlogs, and like using those resources I have for mukbangs on maybe doing like travel and exploring the city, doing different things. I think that will be just healthier in general too for me. So yeah, anyway, I know the key to not going into a deep depression when I move out is keeping our place really clean, organized.
That didn't happen.
It's going to be a fresh start, fresh apartment, top floor, so hopefully there won't be too many.
Yeah, it became a pigsty. So like Chantal has problems with, you know, saying things and then following through with those things. She says things, but then afterwards doesn't follow through with what she says. And that's been going on for years.
Bugs. I don't think there's bugs, but. And just getting up every day and sticking to a routine of taking care of myself. This is going to be a time of.
So even if there is the foodie, even if there is Chantal Marie Thoreau, who wants to make these changes, got it in her head. I'm going to make these changes. I'm going to get up every day. I am going to make positive changes. I am going to get up and have a routine. How is that going to be successful? If you gather people around you that are into the food fetish, that are into the weight gain, that are into you being immobile, and they're saying, you don't have to move right now. Just lay down for me. Eat the food for me. Keep ordering the food. Keep eating the food. Get on YouTube and do it so I get my jollies. That works against what you're trying to do, right? That tears up the blueprint you're trying to create.
Finding me, and I'm excited to bring you guys that on that journey with me. I'm like an F5 tornado. I've done a lot of destruction in my past, and even up till now, in my life and the life of others around me, and that's how I feel anyway. And I think that's what scares me about OA too, is like you have to like face those things in therapy, and it just makes me sick. Like it just makes me sick to think that I have to do that. So, but I think I will give it another try, because the benefits of OA is that you're with a community of people who are going through what you're going through. And food addiction, eating disorders can be very lonely. I'm like that type of person.
That's why you go to therapy, and that's why you go to meetings, so you don't feel alone. And yeah, it's going to feel awkward. It's going to feel weird saying things to people and opening up. But the reward is you become more aware of what you're doing. There's accountability there. And the reward is it prompts you to stop doing them.
Though, like, even though I have problems sticking to things, but
yeah, no kidding.
I wanted to get on the ball, because I was like, yesterday, I think was a huge eye opener for me. Like the walk to the apartment was like a big thing. It made me feel so ashamed and bad about myself. Like I can't even walk to the next like building, you know.
Imagine how she feels now.
That was horrible. That was horrible. It was embarrassing. And I wasn't mean to the real estate lady. Actually, I told Pete about that, and he was like, no, you were fine. I was really apologetic and I was really polite, but I guess in my own mind, I thought I was being mean. Not mean, but like kind of like, she was talking and all I could focus on was my pain. Like I could barely hear what she was talking about. So I guess I was just like, yeah, okay, yeah, you know, but I guess I didn't do it in a mean tone, which I'm not a generally mean person, you know, but I do have anger issues for sure.
Yeah.
So
we know.
Anyway, once the nice weather comes in, it's going to be different, because I find like,
you know what, Chantal, now that I'm listening to you, question, do you get angry at your subs for wanting to go out? They say, go out, do something. Is the anger that you're projecting onto your subbies, is it inner frustration, inner anger because you do have problems doing these things and you just don't want to admit it? Because I just showed the clips back in the day. You did those things with no problem. You were walking with no problem. We just saw those clips. Is it the fact that you've gotten yourself into a state where you have trouble moving? You know you have. You know it's your fault. You let things continue. You let things get bad. But you feel that inner anger and frustration because you know that you are responsible for getting into that state. And then when people ask you to do something that you know you have trouble doing, that you do the pushback, you do the defiance. I don't want to go out, or you make excuses because you know things are bad and you should change and you don't want to. Are you right now, is like, when you think about what it would take to fix things, do you see like Mount Everest in front of you and you're like, man, that's a lot. That's too much. I can't do it. And you just give up? I think you do that.
It's like freezing. It's freezing and dark and just depressing, you know. I know I said, you know, a lot of people were saying I should go live with my aunt in Jamaica or my mom. If I didn't have cats, it would be a different story. I'm not leaving my cats because I don't want to do that to them, but also I miss them so much. Even when I go to the store, like I can't even, you know, there's no way. I would be so heartbroken without my babies. Like I can't. They're my babies. They're the only babies I'm gonna have.
Oh, I don't want to see Salah. Goodbye. Oh no. Okay, like we're done here. So that's my retro react. I just wanted to show, you know, like how Foodie was then versus how she is now. What an eye opener, huh? So I hope you guys have enjoyed this retro react of Foodie versus Foodie. That nobody is against Chantal like she is against herself. She has no greater enemy than herself. And even when things are bad, and clearly her food addiction has wrecked and ruined her life, and she allowed it to, even now when things are really, really bad, she won't let it go, which tells me everything I need to know about where she's at, about caring about her health, and the fact that she just doesn't. She is defending that addiction to the very death. So that's it for this. Hope you guys have enjoyed this retro react. If you have, please like and subscribe and leave a comment. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Until then, take care of yourselves and each other. Bye.